Hey guys, name is Kris. Welcome to Gear Corner. This time I'm literally sitting in my gear corner on the floor, and we are a bit lower, like the camera as well, because I need to sort out something. This is how my pedal board looked up until today. As you can see, most of the pedals are around the board because they just do not have space on it, and that's kind of stupid. First of all, because it's a patch cable chaos, and second of all, if I want to take the board to a live show, it's gonna be a struggle. So I need to upgrade the board, and I need to have at least enough space for a fuzz pedal, my buffer, a compressor, a few drive pedals, at least one modulation and one delay pedal. I bought a new pedal board, which is pretty cool, and it's bigger, which is good. And I teamed up with Evidence Audio for cables and patch cables, and Ciocks for the power supply. And here's the pedal board. First of all, it's bigger. It's 66 centimeters wide and 37 tall, which is definitely more space than what I had on my 40 wide board. And second of all, even though I really like pedals and like to have options and everything, I do not want to sacrifice tone. I don't want to have, 10 pedals in row and connect them with patch cables without a switcher. So what I want to have is my switcher on that board, which helps me completely disengage, like remove those pedals that are not on from the signal chain. And to keep everything even more streamlined, especially for live shows, this board is pretty cool because it has these optional patch bays. These are really nice and allow you to be flexible. I will just use the standard one because I'm boring, and I will probably wire it up mono or stereo or optional stereo, which is something that I could use for wet dry, for actual stereo, or just stick to the mono one. I'm not sure yet. I will probably tweak it in the next couple of weeks or months, depending on the gig, the video I'm making, etc. So let's start with power. The awesome people at Ciocks Power Supplies send me over these two. The DC7 is one of their more modern ones. It's super flat, by the way, so if you have one of those really small boards like this, which is okay for like 4 pedals, whether it's from Pedal Train, the Harley Benton one, the Palmer one, all these boards are super flat, and it's really hard to find a power supply that fits under it. This fits under it. My old DC5 I've been using on my small board is a little too thick, so it kind of rattles around. These are so flat, these will work under that, but I don't have space issues here. What I wanted to have is a flexible power supply that's super quiet, that is fuzz friendly and sensitive drive pedals and digital pedal friendly, that has a nice isolation and a very sturdy, construction. And this is exactly what these are. 7 outputs are not enough though. So that's why you can link like an extension. You can expand it with one of these. This is the 4. And what's cool is that all of these 11 outputs can give me 9, 12, 15 or 18 volts. And if you stick to 9 volt, you get 660 milliamps, which is more than enough for whatever pedals you have. All right, let's start with positioning and installing the power supplies. I have to connect the DC7 with this expansion 4 with this extra little unit. You get a cable for that, which is cool, and I try to put both of them in the middle or more on the left side of the board, because I want to have them as far away from fuzz pedals as possible, because I have my fuzz pedals on the right side. I'm going to be using something that's called a pedalboard tape, which is kind of a hardcore version of Velcro. And you'll find links in the description box if you want to check out all the stuff I'm using in this video. I really like using this tape because this is like the most solid connection ever. Because the power supply is going to be upside down, mounted on the bottom side of the pedal board. I really want to make sure that it just doesn't fall off and doesn't rattle around, and it just stays where I put it. So let's talk about the pedals that will go on the board. I will want to have at least one fuzz on the board, and most fuzzes, not all of them, but most fuzzes really do not like sitting between pedals or in a loop of a switcher, whatever. Depends on the switcher, of course, as well. This is true bypass, so it should be fine. These are awesome. One of these will be on the board at all times, and I will probably rotate depending on the mood, the guitar, the gig, the video, etc. Then the next thing is gonna be my buffer, which is, it's a really clever one. It's this exotic super clean, which is a clean boost and a buffer. And then tuner, obviously, and then we enter finally the switcher. So the first loop is I have to change all these little stickers, obviously, because it's not current anymore. In the first loop, I'll put my compressor. This is the compressor Mark II from Empress. It's pretty much a studio compressor, ridiculous. And then I will have 3 overdrive loops. So loop 2, 3, and 4 are going to be overdrives. OD1, OD2, OD3 is probably going to be the sticker I'll put up above them. In the first overdrive loop, I will put something that stacks well, likes to sit in front of other drive pedals. And the second overdrive loop is going to be something that works perfectly alone, could be used to stack into it, like an overdrive pedal in front of it. And then the third overdrive loop is where I would probably have like the King of Tone or the Pantheon Deluxe or the Castellator Toxic Twins or the amazing Gladio. The modulation loop, which is gonna be loop number 5, this one, where I have way too many options. I'm not a huge modulation effect player, but for some reason I have a few things that I absolutely love and I end up using way too often, I guess. And then the last loop on the switcher, the 6th loop, is gonna be the delay loop, where I have 2 options. My 2 current favorite pedals are the Castellator Time Trap and the Warstotter D1 version 2. That's why I needed the Ciocks with the 11 outputs, and what I will need is a million patch cables. This is a guitar cable with a straight jack, and I can plug it in, no problem, but then look at the amount of space it blocks on your board where no pedal can come in, right? So it's just not cool. And if you're using an angle jack, you will have to make sure that that jack can go to the bottom, like there's a cut on the board, and that you have this much space underneath the board for that jack, because otherwise you'll ruin the cable if that touches the floor. It's not easy to find the right kind of patch cables that you can connect to switchers. And I'm not only talking about this one, this One Control Agamide, whatever it's called. All of them, the Boss ones, the Gig Rig ones, all of these switchers will need kind of special patch cables. And that's why I started using these Evidence Audio SIS, which is screw-in solderless patch cables. Well, they have this, their traditional red-ish kind of color. You can also get black. And the tips are also 2 color. You'll have black tips on the jacks and chrome or silver. There's a reason for these colors. I will use these as color codes, basically. And I will use, like, for example, the black caps for all the, I don't know, inputs or outputs of the switcher. Which means that if I need to swap a pedal in that specific loop, I will know which of the 2 tangling cables is the pedal input and pedal output. I have it plugged in there in the patch bay, and then it has to be able to come up here, which is easy. But then again, if I put on another fuzz pedal, which, like for example, this one has the jack on the side and it's pretty damn low. So I'll have it here, which means that that patch cable has to be able to come down here. Maybe this will be enough. Yeah, that's a good length. So let's use that. Here. Maybe like this. Yeah. So that's fuzz. Nice. The next one is going to be the buffer. I want to have the buffer right after the fuzz to avoid losing signal. This will come somewhere here. I guess this would be here. Looking good. This would go from here to the input. That's fine. I can even put it under the board maybe. From the tuner out, I will go into the pedal switcher. There you go. This can go a little down to have some slack and then come in here. So I can cut it right here where my finger is. You need to cut off the shielding. There you go. Then gather all the wires that are going to be ground around the core wire and just pull them together, twist them a little, and just lean it to the back. And then right here, this looks pretty good, but the black shielding is in the way a little. Just cut that away. That's it. You plug that in. Just have to make sure that this ending is pretty straight. And then it's stable. Like you literally cannot pull it off anymore. You can decide in which direction it should be angled, put on that tip, and just twist it until the thread is in there and it's tight. And that's it. Now you do the same thing on the other end. Yeah, solid. Now I can decide on the angle, because this goes down there. This should be in this angle. Here's a useful tip if you're making so many patch cables or just using so many patch cables. Test them for continuity, because once you have everything patched up, there are so many cables, and if it's not running, you need to find out which one it is, which one is responsible for that, and that takes forever. So just test for continuity. Nice. And here's the pedal board. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It is super clean. It sounds amazing. I love both the Ciocks power supplies and the evidence cables. They sound amazing, and it's dead quiet, everything, and best possible sound, etc. And what I love about the board mostly is that I still have space for a few stuff. I didn't want to fill it up to make it look pretty and sort of final, because it's a modular board. I will swap the drives, I will swap the fuzz pedals, I will put the reverb, which sits on top of the rev right there, the golden reverberator. That's where that pedal is if I'm using it here in the studio. Whenever I take the board to a gig or a rehearsal, I will put that pedal on the board. So that's why I have some space on the left side of the pedal. Yeah, exactly. Right at the end. I didn't want to use too many cable ties because I need to move those in and output cables, those patch cables, depending on the pedal. If I swap a pedal and it has a side mount jack instead of a top mount jack, I have to move that patch cable. I need it to be more flexible and movable. I want this to be more functional than, I don't know, an OCD pleasure board, whatever. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I forgot to explain or wasn't really clear, or just have anything on your mind, really. You guys take it easy. See you next week in a new video, and meet you down there in the comments below. I'll be back. Bye-bye.